It must be creepy.
We were recently contacted by a family that has been having some, what they feel is paranormal activity in their home in the last couple of months. They uploaded some videos of their children, and there appears to be some kind of light abnormalities in the videos. I looked at them carefully, and they don't appear to be your traditional dust orb. They look a little different. They look like little bursts of energy. And the family is claiming that they see these little bursts of energy all the time now. And so we figured we should investigate and see what's going on. First thing I'm going to show you is a video that they uploaded, one of the videos of their child, Sofia, playing the guitar. And you'll see these little light balls go in and out of the frame rather quickly. To me, they don't look like dust orbs, otherwise I wouldn't be really showing them. And I've identified them with an arrow in the video. These are extremely short bursts of energy. Most last no more than a fraction of a second. There are many more light bursts visible in the original source video. I've included a link in the description tab below. Please view this on a full-screen PC monitor. One of the first things I did when I got there was I interviewed the clients, and they explained some of the paranormal activity that they've been experiencing in their home.
And then I was going to bed on a Sunday, and Sophie and I were upstairs, and Sophie's like, well, I have a video, Mom. And when she played it back for me, it was so incredibly obvious. Like, I was looking at her, I was like, do you remember my reaction? I was just like, wait, there's another one. I'm like, wait. It was just, and she was just looking at me like, duh.
Right.
And it almost looked like there was something going on in the hallway, like that swirling. There's some, I can't really tell, but I.
Why don't you describe what again with the cat?
The cat. I was going to bed. Maybe it was just about 2 weeks ago. The cat was sitting in front of my dresser, and his face was completely pointed at the ceiling. Just like this at the ceiling. I was like. When I went up to go see what the cat was looking at, there was nothing at the ceiling. But even before I got to that point, I'm like, there's not going to be any. I knew there was not going to be a bug there. And not only that, the cat is normally skittish. He just sat there. He wouldn't get out of my way. Like, I almost tripped over him. Like, okay, so then I'm watching him, and he still pointed, like this. And then he'd go like this and look to the left. And then he's like, almost like somebody was playing with him. Like somebody had a toy, like the way they would react to like a feather or the way they would react to a cat toy. You know.
Is that the first time he's ever done that?
Yes.
Has he done that since then?
No. But he's been acting, he's acting different.
And other than that activity, do you see anything else of visual or auditory? Do you hear anything different in the house recently?
I've never heard anything, but I've seen, like out of the corner of my eye, I've seen light, like a little ball out of the corner of my eye.
Okay, go ahead and tell me what you saw.
Okay, yeah, I was just saying that Sophia was sitting on the steps, and we were talking to her, and I saw a little swirl just like appear by her left arm, and just swirl and went away. And that was really strange, and I've never seen anything like that before here in this house.
Now, you're not a big believer of paranormal, you're not into it, right?
No, I don't believe in any of that.
So when you see something, what do you think it is that you're seeing? Just artifacts in the eye?
No, I think it's something. You know, I do believe in, like, you know, like there's something happens after you die, you know, but there could be some kind of energy. I believe there's energy, you know, maybe another dimension or something is possible. I believe. I don't know anything about it, but it's a big universe, it's a big world, you know. I don't know everything. So, you know, I know what I see.
Right.
And then I'll tell you the other time when I was upstairs in the bedroom, and my dog had passed away, and I had to put him down. He was really sick. He was old, and came home, and we went to bed. And that night, in the morning when I woke up to get ready for work, right above my eyes, I saw a silhouette. In the darkness, I saw a black silhouette. I don't know how that's possible either. And it was a dog, real happy, just jumping around, running around, wagging its tail, and then it was gone. And that was crazy. That blew my mind. I never experienced anything like that or expected something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's unusual.
And that was in this house. So yeah. And I will see like what I describe as a black hole every now and then. Just something in just space, just gone with a speck at the end too.
All I really experience is like a few days ago, I saw something on the corner of my eye. It kind of looked like a white thing. I looked over and then it disappeared. But then I'm like, okay. Then, like about a month ago, I like saw something like above me, like that, like a swoosh.
Right. Was it lit or was it dark?
It was lit.
It was lit.
It was like white, like pale. It
Okay.
was like. Then later on, I just saw like a little misty thing that just went right up into the air.
And is all this in your bedroom or is it anywhere in the house?
Anywhere in the house.
Do you remember where you saw the thing you said that swooshed? Was that in the bedroom?
I saw it like in my mom's room. when I
Okay.
woke up.
So you've seen some things visually, you know. Did you ever see any little light movements like your dad was describing of
In the corner of my
light,
eye.
corner of your eye? But now when you're looking face on, right?
You know, not when I'm looking like.
Right. Okay. So you're Vanessa, right?
Yes, this is Vanessa. She is 19 months, just about 19, almost going on 20 months. And this is the one where where I first noticed, like where the orbs were. Was all around her when she went to stand on the little train. There's a little train over there. And then all of a sudden I noticed on like the fourth time I watched it, I noticed that there were orbs, all like four, right in the beginning.
One of the first experiments we did before we started the Para-Selfie is I set up a USB microphone, a stereo microphone, and I interviewed the clients for about a half hour, and they discussed again what paranormal activity has been going on. I then reversed that audio track and played that back in the background as I asked similar questions again, trying to see if I can get an EVP with that reverse interview in the background. If there's anything in this environment, in this house, that was interacting with their cat, and what is the cat's name?
Gizmo.
Gizmo. If you're in this environment right now and you can sense that we're here, these devices won't hurt you. And I'm just going to be asking you some questions. And if you could try and answer that, and you can see there's a little red light. If you can go near that light and try and answer that as loud as you can, I'm going to have a pause in between the questions. So if there's anybody here that could acknowledge with a yes or no that they did interact with their cat, please answer me now. After analyzing the interview with the reverse track, I didn't hear any EVPs or get any responses during that interview. And also listening to the interview itself, without the reverse track, I didn't capture any EVPs also at this point. We set the Para-Selfie up in the living room, and about 8 o'clock p.m. we started the investigation. We had the camera set up, the full spectrum, and the 4 sensors of the Para-Selfie going. Just go near anything on this table and try and impart your energy and try and see if you could see yourself on the monitor. Just like Sophie is seeing herself, you'll be able to see yourself also. So Sophie is going to play a song that she made up right now. There are no hits on any of the 4 sensors of the Para-Selfie till about the 39-minute point in the investigation when the K2 meter responded.
So, now we can prove that we saw something.
I know it's hard when we ask you to do something. It's hard to just do something on command. So please try and do that again, what you just did.
By the way, that was awesome.
Yeah, thanks if you did that.
My stomach just dropped. My stomach just like went like in a good way.
So after the investigation, I analyzed the video and the audio, and the K2 on the Para-Selfie was triggered about 18 times during a 2.5 hour period. The strength of the hits were kind of strong for the bulk of them, but there were some weaker ones. So I thought something might be in the environment. So I brought the Para-Selfie home and I set it up in my kitchen, and I kept cell phones on and my router and so forth. And I didn't get anything to trigger it in a 3-hour period. But it turns out the client had an alarm system that was disabled, but it still was sending data using a cell signal. So we contacted that company and we decided to go back a couple days later and reinvestigate, and this time the alarm system was completely disabled. So we then ran a whole bunch of experiments again with the Para-Selfie, asking a series of new questions, and this time we put it in the upstairs bedroom where the cat was looking up into the ceiling area. And there's actually something very interesting that we captured, definitely paranormal, that you're going to see in this video in a little bit. Before I show that and go over some of the questions that we did the second investigation, I have the K2 meter right here, and I have a little medical transmitter that transmits a 20 megahertz signal. I want to show you how this thing responds to it. What you notice is that I have to go really close to this device to get it to respond. And as soon as I back away from it, just a matter of inches, it drops down to nothing. So what this is showing is that even a weak signal has to be very close to this unit to get it to trigger. And if it's a very strong signal, it starts triggering this device at about 3 to 6 feet. And I have some examples of that. You can see the distance that it triggers the K2 meter. So for an entity to get this thing to respond, or any of the devices on the Para-Selfie, it's got to be really close to it or an extremely powerful signal. So I'm not sure how many of those hits that we got were invalid, so that's why we went back there. So it turns out after going back there and doing the investigation for a second time, we actually had more hits on the K2 meter, about 23 hits in a 2-hour period. And these were all varying signals, and there was no longer any peak strong ones, which makes me feel that these are all valid hits. So I'm going to show some of the questions that we did during that session, and then I'm going to show you what we captured on the Para-Selfie in the upstairs bedroom. So right now upstairs we have the Para-Selfie. It was on number 1 light strobe. When I left, we have the trail camera going also. And I'm going to just ask a series of questions, and then I'm going to play back the device and see if we hear anything or get any answers. So the first question I have is there anybody here that is in this house that is moving around and would possibly see you?
In May, are you the one who was like dancing around and watching me play the guitar? In May, are you the one who was like dancing around and watching me play the guitar?
If there's something here in this house that is watching over my daughter Vanessa, who had a traumatic birth, we would just like to know if that's why you're here. Contact us in any way, say yes, or make some kind of noise. If there's something here in this house that is watching over my daughter Vanessa, who had a traumatic birth, we would just like to know if that's why you're here. Contact us in any way, say yes, or make some kind of noise.
Hi, do you happen to know how old you are? Are you little or are you an adult? Or do you happen to know that you passed away? Hi, do you happen to know how old you are? Are you little or are you an adult? Or do you happen to know that you passed away?
I want to make a note that I just saw my first burst of light here.
Nice.
I'm up on the ceiling over there. I just saw a flash of light. Several additional questions were asked by the family. Post-analysis confirmed that no EVPs were captured. At 19 minutes 41 seconds on the video, 3 simultaneous events occurred. The Para-Selfie captured a fast shadow moving downwards left to right towards the TV sitting on the dresser. At the same time, the K2 meter responds. Additionally, a Class C EVP is recorded. The first footage shown is the downstairs camera. Vanessa is going to bed and saying goodbye to everyone. I will show the exact moment when the upstairs camera captured the shadow. The upstairs footage is then shown in slow motion, showing the captured shadow. I will replay this several times.
Kissy for sister?
Bye!
Yay! My show's over.
Bye! Bye!
Oh my god, my show's over. Yeah, you're...
To the skeptics and debunkers, I carefully examined over 3.5 hours of video footage from the Para-Selfie. This translates to 12,600 seconds of footage. There were 378,000 frames of video analyzed. Out of those 378,000 frames, only 3 had the moving shadow. This is not a rolling shutter artifact from the strobing effect of the Para-Selfie. It does not move vertically. Keep in mind at the time the K2 meter responds to an electromagnetic pulse and the table digital recorder captures an EVP. Another piece of credible evidence was captured. The trail camera was pointed up to the ceiling in the same general area as the Para-Selfie. It captured a moving light energy as we entered the room to turn off our equipment. What follows is the video from that capture. Following the investigation, the frames of video with the captured shadow were sent to paranormal engineer Joe DiMare to analyze. Joe processed the frames using his light and motion tracker software. What follows are the results of the LMT processing. One of the last frames analyzed had some interesting visual anomalies seen on the television screen. What do you see?